Shaivism is a major tradition within Hinduism, centered on the worship of Shiva. In Shaivism, Shiva is recognized as the supreme reality and ultimate being. This tradition posits that all creation originates from Shiva. Furthermore, all existence is sustained and resides within Shiva. Ultimately, all creation returns to Shiva, completing the cosmic cycle. Adherents of this spiritual tradition are known as Shaivas. The origins of Shaivism, a major tradition within Hinduism, are a subject of ongoing scholarly debate. Some scholars propose its roots trace back to the ancient Indus Valley civilization. This civilization flourished around 2500–2000 BCE, predating later Vedic traditions. The Pashupati seal from Mohenjo-Daro is often cited as key evidence for this theory. This seal depicts a seated figure, interpreted by some as a potential early prototype of the deity Shiva. The Pashupati seal is an artifact from the Indus Valley civilization. It depicts a seated figure surrounded by animals, often interpreted as a deity. The interpretation of this figure as a precursor to the Hindu deity Shiva is a common theory. However, this interpretation remains speculative due to significant academic challenges. The Indus script, found on the seal, is currently undeciphered, hindering definitive understanding. Scholarly consensus is lacking regarding the figure's identity or its divine representation. The Vedas, ancient texts composed between 1500–1200 BCE, contain hymns to various deities. Among these deities is Rudra, a significant figure in the early Vedic pantheon. Rudra is associated with powerful natural phenomena, including storms and disease. He is also linked to healing, embodying a fearsome and unpredictable nature. The Shvatashvatara Upanishad dates back to approximately 400–200 BCE. It marks a significant theological shift within ancient Indian scriptures. This text elevates the deity Rudra to the status of a supreme being. Rudra is referred to as Shiva, the auspicious one, signifying both formidable power and grace. The period between 200 BCE and 100 CE marks a significant era in religious history. During this time, clear evidence emerges for the formation of organized Shaiva traditions. This indicates the development of distinct sectarian worship practices. These traditions centered around the deity Shiva, establishing a new religious structure. Patanjali, a grammarian, authored the Mahabhashya in the 2nd century BCE. In this work, Patanjali makes a significant reference to Shiva Bhagavata. This term describes a devotee of the deity Shiva. The devotee is characterized by specific attire, animal skins. Additionally, the Shiva Bhagavata carries an iron lance as an attribute. These descriptions foreshadow later Shaiva iconography, establishing early visual elements. Kushan Empire coins, dating from the 1st to 3rd centuries CE, offer insights into ancient religious beliefs. These numismatic artifacts frequently depict figures holding tridents. A prominent interpretation suggests these trident-bearing figures represent the Hindu deity Shiva. However, alternative scholarly views propose they could also symbolize Zoroastrian deities. This dual interpretation highlights the complex religious syncretism of the Kushan period. The Pashupatas represent the earliest clear evidence of sectarian Shaivism. This ancient ascetic group was traditionally founded by Lakulisha around the 2nd century CE. Pashupata practitioners pursued spiritual liberation through rigorous ascetic practices. Their path to liberation often involved unconventional and sometimes extreme behaviors. The Pashupata movement was a significant early Shaiva tradition in ancient India. It experienced substantial expansion across the northern regions of the Indian subcontinent. This movement established fundamental principles for subsequent Shaiva schools. These foundational principles led to the development of more complex Shaiva philosophies. The Shaiva Agamas are foundational religious texts composed between the 5th and 8th centuries CE. These ancient scriptures provide detailed instructions for various aspects of Shaivism. They include guidelines for the construction of temples and sacred structures. The Agamas also outline specific practices for ritual worship and spiritual discipline. Furthermore, they delve into the philosophical tenets and principles of yoga. There are 28 primary Agamas, each presenting a complete system of theology and practice. The Shivadharma texts originated between the 6th and 7th centuries CE. These texts primarily focus on the institutional aspects of lay Shaiva practice. They also detail the cultural dimensions of this religious tradition. Key distinctions include their emphasis on material and practical elements of the religion. This contrasts with the Agamas, which address different facets of Shaiva doctrine. The Shiva Dharma Project is a dedicated research initiative focused on ancient texts. Its primary objective is the comprehensive study of these specific textual tradition. The project investigates the historical transmission of these texts across generations. It also examines how these texts were adapted in various regional contexts. A key focus is on their evolution and interpretation within South Asia. The research aims to understand the cultural and religious impact of the Shiva Dharma text. The Shiva Dharma Project investigated the historical impact of specific religious texts. Its findings reveal the profound influence these texts exerted on various cultural forms. This influence is evident across multiple literary, epigraphical, and iconographic sources. These texts were instrumental in the establishment and spread of Shaivism. They played a crucial role in making Shaivism a pan-Indian religion. The Gupta period, spanning from approximately 320 to 500 CE, marked a significant era in Indian history. This period witnessed the extensive growth and dissemination of Puranic literature. Puranas are comprehensive compilations encompassing myths, legends, and cosmological narratives. They also detail genealogies of gods, goddesses, and ancient kings, providing historical context. Many Puranic texts contain substantial sections specifically dedicated to Shaivism, a major Hindu tradition. The Shiva Purana is a prominent Hindu religious text, central to the Shaiva tradition. It is considered the most important among the Shaiva Puranas, a genre of Hindu scriptures. This scripture portrays Shiva as the supreme deity, the ultimate reality. Shiva is depicted as responsible for the creation, preservation, and destruction of the universe. The Purana details his various manifestations, divine deeds, and methods of proper worship. A prominent Puranic narrative describes Shiva's act of consuming the Halahala poison. This poison emerged during the churning of the cosmic ocean, threatening all existence. Shiva's compassionate act saved the universe from destruction. His throat turned blue from the poison, earning him the name Nilakanacha. Puranic narratives recount significant mythological events involving Hindu deities. One such narrative describes Shiva's destruction of 3 formidable flying cities. These cities, known as Tripura, were constructed and inhabited by powerful demons. Shiva, a principal deity, undertook the task of annihilating these demonic strongholds. With a single, decisive arrow, Shiva successfully destroyed all 3 cities. This act earned him the epithet Tripurantaka, meaning the destroyer of Tripura. Shaivism, a major tradition within Hinduism, worships Shiva as the supreme being. By the early medieval period, Shaivism had diversified into various distinct philosophical schools. This diversification reflected different interpretations and practices within the Shaivite tradition. Shaiva Siddhanta emerged as the most influential school among these diverse branches. Its name, the established doctrine of Shiva, signifies its authoritative and widespread acceptance. Shaiva Siddhanta is a dualistic philosophical tradition within Shaivism. It posits 3 eternal principles: Pati, Shiva, the Lord; Pashu, the individual soul; and Pasha, the bonds. Pasha represents the restrictions that bind the individual soul. The ultimate goal is to achieve Shivatva, the nature of Shiva. This is attained through divine grace, while maintaining the soul's distinct ontological identity. Shaiva Siddhanta outlines a spiritual path to liberation, purifying the soul for divine grace. This journey comprises 4 progressive stages, each building upon the previous one. The first stage is Charya, involving external acts of worship and devotion. Next is Kriya, which signifies intimate service and dedication to God. Following Kriya is Yoga, focusing on meditation and internal spiritual practices. The final stage is Jnana, representing profound knowledge and ultimate spiritual realization. Shaiva Siddhanta is a prominent tradition within Shaivism, a major branch of Hinduism. Its philosophical and theological roots are believed to have originated in the region of Kashmir. However, the tradition's most significant development and flourishing occurred elsewhere. This period of growth was largely concentrated in the southern parts of India. In South India, Shaiva Siddhanta deeply integrated with the devotional poetry of the Nayanmars. This integration led to its widespread acceptance and profound cultural impact in the region. The Nayanmars were a group of 63 revered poet saints from South India. They flourished between the 6th and 8th centuries CE, leaving a profound spiritual legacy. These saints composed numerous hymns, expressing intense love and devotion to the deity Shiva. Their poetic works are characterized by deep emotional fervor and philosophical insights. The collected hymns of the Nayanmars are known as the Tiru Murai, The Tirumurai remains a cornerstone of devotional practice and Shaivite tradition today. Kashmir Shaivism, also known as Trika Shaivism, emerged in North India around 850 CE. It stands in contrast to other Shaiva Siddhanta traditions. This philosophical system is characterized by its radically non-dualist perspective. It posits that Shiva is not merely a deity, but pure consciousness itself. Through Shiva's creative power, this pure consciousness manifests the entire universe. Kashmir Shaivism is a non-dualistic philosophical tradition originating from Kashmir, India. It posits that the world is a real and divine expression, not an illusory phenomena. The core teaching emphasizes the non-dual nature of reality, where everything is Shiva. Liberation is attained through the recognition that one's individual self is identical with Shiva. This realization leads to spiritual freedom and a profound understanding of universal consciousness.